Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan, and I'm Senior Account Manager at Soldsie. I want to welcome everyone to our second Seller Stories webinar series. In this series, we invite sellers to share their stories and best practices on social selling. I now have the pleasure of introducing two friends and clients of Soldsie, Parmalee and Anna. They're the owners of Smockingbird's children's clothing. For those of you who don't know their story, Parmalee and Anna met and became best friends at Vanderbilt University. They are now sister-in-laws and business partners. In their first 7 months, Smockingbird has done over $80,000 in sales, 80% of which now come from Instagram. During Parmalee and Anna's presentation, please feel free to type questions as there will be a 15-minute Q&A session at the end. I now want to welcome Parmalee and Anna.
Hi, I'm Parmalee, and I'm going to start off. And first, I'm just going to give y'all a little background about Anna and myself and how we met and how we got started with Smockingbird. Well, first of all, Anna and I met freshman year at college at Vanderbilt when Anna moved in across the hall from me. And we immediately became best friends and for the next 4 years did everything together. And after college, I ended up moving for a job in finance and moved to New York, and Anna moved out to the West Coast for a job in marketing in LA. So for the next 7 years, we were both busy with our careers, but also traveled a lot to see each other. And probably in our late 20s, decided to take a trip to China together, a little vacation. And it was on that trip, somewhere hiking along the Great Wall, that Anna and my brother fell in love. And so my best friend became my sister-in-law. And then about 2 years ago, we were both, we'd actually both moved back to the South, but about 2 years ago, my husband and I moved to Panama City, Panama for his career. And while we were down there, I gave birth to my son, and I dressed him in all, the clothing that I brought down from the States, cute little smock bubbles and rompers and long-alls. And everywhere we went in Panama, people would stop me all the time and say, "Oh my gosh, he's so adorable. Where do you buy his clothing? Where's that from?" And for me, I guess I looked at that as just normal clothing, cute little smocked outfits. But in Panama, people really hadn't seen that. So I decided that I was going to open up a store down there. So I probably spent about a year really researching, manufacturers, suppliers, figuring out, where we were going to sell it, how we were going to sell it. I worked with a realtor to open up to lease a storefront, and I really spent a huge amount of time on this. And right before we were ready to sign our lease on our store, my samples came in, and I took them to several different baby stores in Panama City. And one after another, the first store I walked into, the woman said, "Oh, no, 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 no. That's what the grandmothers buy and the moms return. You do not want to sell smocked clothing in Panama." So right then and there, I just, my heart sank, because here is, a year's worth of work. And I certainly, wasn't going to just open up a store and hope that I could survive on just my few expat friends down there. I knew if the Panamanians weren't going to get behind it, I was going to be in trouble. But as fate would have it, it turned out my husband's job ended up taking us back to the States. And that Christmas, sitting around the Christmas tree, I was, actually complaining to Anna that I'd wasted a whole year of my life on all this research. And Anna said, "Well, let's not let it go to waste. Let's start it here. We can do it. Let's take your work and make it work in the U.S." But for us, we knew that starting a store in the States was a whole different ballgame. First of all, we didn't want to invest that much capital in it. We really tried to do this a little more on a shoestring. So we thought, why not sell it on the internet? And even building a website for us just got really expensive and complicated, and we weren't quite yet ready to take that leap of faith. So we decided to use the power of social media and start selling on Facebook. So we really just, put together an email and emailed out to every single person we knew, friends and family, friends of friends of friends, and just asked everyone to like our page and sign up for our newsletter. And we actually posted on our Facebook page, something that said weekly sales starting in 1 month. And for the next month, we tracked every single like we got over every single hour. Every single hour my cell phone would go off, and I would write down how many likes we received in that hour. I even actually went on vacation to Mexico, and my husband yelled at me the whole time because because my phone would beep and I'd get on the internet, check my Facebook likes. And of course he was freaking out over my, expensive data international roaming charges. But at the end of it, we really knew that for us, we were going to have a sale. Tuesday nights were the nights that people seemed to really be on our page, and 8:30 was actually kind of the time that we felt, was with all of our data had seemed to be the best. So we started out with a Tuesday night 8:30 sale and doing it once a week. And then after about a month, we grew and quickly grew to 2 sales a week, and now we do a Saturday morning sale. And so it really, that first month we did pretty well. It got us really excited. Looking back, I think a lot of it was friends and family, but it got us off to a great start. But we quickly realized that with Facebook, we got in there right after an algorithm had changed, and so now our posts were, everything we were posting was only being shown to 2 to 5% of our followers. And so at this part, it was the crucial time where we really needed to get new buyers out there and spreading the word. But when we're posting and such a small amount of our followers are seeing our post, that was a huge problem for us. I mean, of course, less exposure equals less sales, and we knew that we had to find a different avenue or a different way to get people to see our products and to buy. So it was probably after a few months that we decided to look at Instagram, and I actually really was not familiar with Instagram. I hadn't really been on it personally. I'm not a very good person taking photos of my family, unfortunately. So Anna had her own account, and she really took control, and she started us an Instagram page. So Anna, I'll let you talk a little bit about our transition into Instagram.
All right. Hi, I'm Anna. And as Parmalee mentioned, I had lots of Instagram experience and also knew through Alan at Soldsie that we could start selling our products using Soldsie with Instagram. And I had a pretty decent base of followers. I enjoyed seeing photos of friends and even like looking at pictures of their friends. And so I knew that our market of young women and moms was on Instagram. For us, Instagram really leveled the playing field because fewer children's boutiques appeared to be selling on Instagram, and there was also a low risk for us. There were no costs up front, and it just seemed like a no-brainer. Why not try it out and see where it would take us? Our posts grew pretty quickly. Our posts were shared with our entire audience, which was unfortunately unlike Facebook. So for that reason, we were able to grow fairly quickly. And our followers typically tag their friends using our posts, which gives us exposure and new followers if they like our product. And if you have a product that people like and want, your followers will definitely end up sharing it with their friends. So days before we had our first sale on Instagram, we had set a goal for ourselves of achieving about 500 followers, and we did that pretty quickly. We did that and double in less than a week, and then in no time we were averaging about 1,000 followers a week for the first several weeks, which was really exciting. Kind of helped give us a boost of encouragement and really fueled our momentum as we launched our new Instagram career. Our quick increase in exposure through Instagram really allowed us to compete with some of the bigger online children's clothing boutiques, and also helped us create a branding presence online and also in our communities. It's happened on a few occasions where I've been meeting new people for the first time where I live here in Charleston, South Carolina, and they ask what I do, and I say my sister-in-law and I started a children's clothing line that we sell online, and they ask what it's called, and when I say Smockingbird, people often say, "Oh, you do Smockingbird," and so that's pretty funny and rewarding that we're really establishing a presence within our communities. So how we got started. As I mentioned, I had been on Instagram for some time and really understood how it worked and how easy it was to follow people. So in the beginning, we really just followed our friends and we followed their friends. Even before Smockingbird, and then with Smockingbird, I spent time viewing friends' photos as well as their friends, and if I liked something, I would comment on it. I just wanted to connect with people. So whether it was a pretty scenery shot, whether it was some type of delicious looking food, cute children, trendy clothing, jewelry. It didn't matter. I just expressed genuine like for a lot of things, and that really helped us gain followers too. And our clients love taking photos of their children wearing our product and then posting pics of their kids, and they often tag us. So this helps market us within their base of friends, and that has helped us grow too. Another thing that helped us right off the bat as we were getting started was posting contests. We would post 1 to 2 contests a week. We still do. And the contests ask that a follower share our post with a friend, so we gain exposure to new potential clients that way. And they win a store credit, which can be used for anything at any time. People love to be rewarded with a freebie, and it keeps them engaged. It keeps them commenting and sharing, and it's just a big cycle. So as far as some advice goes for social media selling, Instagram is a great marketplace for anyone, and it's a great place to start a business because the risks are low. The audience is there, and I mean any audience, any consumer, not just children's clothing. The consumer on Instagram is definitely influenced by you because you are their friend, you're their equal, and that's something that we try to convey to our audience. We try to give a sense of connection, and we try to be relatable. And I think that over time, the more and more people are becoming accustomed to shopping on Instagram, it will be a more typical way in which to shop. I've met people in the last 4 months or so since we've been doing this who, even before I said what I did, were randomly talking about how they did all their children's clothing shopping on Instagram, or they did all their shopping on Instagram. And I thought, how funny, this is definitely something that's going to increase in popularity, mainly because it's so easy. Another cool thing about Instagram is that you can have fun with hashtags. So that gives your audience and shoppers another way to search for and see your products. And it also helps to keep them engaged when they use your hashtags. You can, along with contests, you can ask people to include specific hashtags so that when someone's viewing the hashtag, they'll see all of your stuff that's related to that contest. We strive to be consistent with our postings. This has been something that's been important to us. We do 2 sales daily, one at 12:30 p.m. and the other at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we think that these are good times for our audience because moms at work might be checking Instagram during lunch, and then moms at home might have children napping. 8:30 at night seems to typically be a good time because children are in bed, or things are kind of winding down. Another resource to help you figure out when to post sales is Iconosquare. It's a great tool, and you can use it to see when your audience is viewing your photos the most. We've used this a little bit as well, and it's certainly beneficial to, you could play, while you're starting, or at any point you could play around with some other times and see if that maximizes your sales as well. So another thing we do about roughly once a month to every 6 weeks or so, we offer a sale. So we'll say there's a 10% up to 25% discount off of all items that are posted on our Instagram page. And we'll leave it up over the course of a couple days and leave up lots of images so people have some things to choose from. We did I think our biggest sale at the end of the summer, and then now we just do kind of random pop-up sales. And people love a sale, even if they're just saving $3 to $5. It definitely drives a boost in sales, which is wonderful. We also discount our items from time to time. So once we've shown a specific item of clothing 2 to 3 times on Instagram, the next time we'll offer a discount. And people love a discount as much as they love a sale, so that helps too. And I think that you have certain shoppers out there that it doesn't matter how much it costs, they want to buy it on sale. So we like to appeal to those shoppers. So another important thing is that we try not to overpost. Apart from our 2 sales a day, we might post roughly 3 to 5 other times in a week. Anything from personal photos, the contest, humorous content, something that's lighthearted, And when I say personal photos, maybe a photo of our child or a photo of a pretty sunset or something that just seems interesting to us that we think our viewers might like. And you don't want your clients to get annoyed with overposting because this will lead people to unfollowing. And once someone unfollows you, it's difficult to get them back as a follower. One thing that I'll stress for social selling for us has been customer service. This has been really important to us. And when I started out in this role, I thought as a consumer myself, I really, really appreciate good customer service, and so made it a priority to treat our clients with the service that I would expect. So we respond quickly to inquiries, and we always give our customers the benefit of the doubt. I think that's important. There have certainly been times when a customer had a complaint or was upset with us that truly did not involve an error on our part, and it's easy to get frustrated, but as I told Parmalee, we need to treat this person like they are correct and have the attitude of we will do whatever we can to fix the situation. And that attitude has really served us well. Like I said, it's not the easiest way to respond, but it's certainly been important, and we can always say that we've tried our best with every customer. And for the most part, people really, really appreciate our customer service and give us lots of praise and tell it and are very thankful for how quick we do respond and how eager we are to make our customers happy. So to wrap things up, here are 5 tips for success. One important thing is to use high quality photos to realistically portray your product. For us, we have a high quality camera that wasn't terribly expensive. We do have a really good lens. We invested in a good lens for our photos. And we use lighting props, again, not anything that we spent much money on, but we use lighting props to help capture a true image. And we use a wooden background behind all of our clothing for consistency, and that helps make the products pop out. For Instagram, while filtering is a fun component, we do not filter any product ever because we want our photos to look as realistic as possible. We do, however, use Photoshop a good bit to edit images, and we make adjustments primarily to color if we need to make the product look truer in the photo as it is in real life. And Photoshop has been something that I've spent a lot of time using, and it's been a great tool. Additionally, for us, we have had so much fun dressing our children up and doing photo shoots and just spending time together. The photo shoots last anywhere from 15-20 minutes to maybe 45 at the most, because you never know when. So it's hard to keep two children still, especially now that they're both basically walking, and they're not glamorous. We're constantly moving to get the right shot. And one time, when I remember the first photo shoot we did, I think I just rushed over to where Parmalee was with my daughter to have the picture taken, and we threw the outfit on her really quickly, and we had a lot of stuff to do, and we found some bungee cord and I think some twine and strapped her to a chair because she wasn't sitting up by herself yet. And it was, I just remember thinking, this has got to get easier, but we got a big kick out of it and always have a lot of fun. That's important to us too. So another tip is to try and connect with your audience. One of the reasons that I thought Instagram would be a great tool is because I enjoy looking at other users' photos, and I look at things and sometimes get sucked in for longer than I should, but it's fun when you can feel some type of connection with someone else, and I think that when people can feel that with us, maybe they feel the same way, so that's important. Parmalee and I both enjoy humor. We really like to laugh. I think that was one thing that really drew us together when we became such good friends in college. So we try and show as much humorous content as we can, maybe 1 or 2 posts a week, and we want to show our audience that we like to laugh and don't take life too seriously. We also want our audience to know that we're average moms. We're like them. We're not everything is perfect, because sometimes when all of your pictures look so put together and everything looks so much in place, it makes you a little bit less relatable, I think. And Instagram is such a great tool because it allows us to connect not only with our peers, but with moms literally all over the country and in other countries, which is really cool that we, just being where we are in life, we all have something in common. And I think that's a really fabulous thing. It is definitely important to show that we are not just all about business. We do, we have our humor side. We like to post our humor content, and we want to show our audience that we like the small things in life. That it's not all about business. It's about the little things too. And sometimes when we post additional, personal content, we might ask a question in the post to help engage our audience and encourage participation. We'll say, "What's your favorite this? Do you remember when your child did this?" And for example, and people will write back and talk about their experiences, and I think that's really nice too to hear from people. And as I've spoken about before, contests are great. Everyone loves a freebie, and this always boosts our following every time we post a contest, which is really great, especially now that we have over 10,000 followers. When we have a contest, we get, our followers in return increase almost exponentially, it seems. So sometimes we'll offer, as far as contests go, sometimes we'll offer a smaller credit for a follower to share with one friend, and then other times we'll offer a larger credit, just more incentive, and ask the follower to share with 5 of their friends. And so that we don't do that as frequently, but that can really help boost our following. And then again, be consistent. Don't overpost. Let your audience know kind of when to expect sales from you, and always promote the best customer service possible, because one bad experience for a customer can mean that you could lose their business forever, and you don't want that. So where are we now? We had our first sale roughly 7 months ago, which is hard to believe, and since then have generated over $80,000 using Soldsie, which is wonderful. And then 80% of our revenue actually comes from Instagram. So if you're thinking about trying to sell on Instagram, do it. I don't think you have anything to lose to give it a try. And then in less than a year, Smockingbird has really created a solid presence on Facebook and on Instagram. And now we're expanding into the e-commerce portal. So I'll let Parmalee say a couple of things about what our next step is.
Yeah, so our next step is we are about to launch a website, and hopefully it will actually be launched in the next week, SmockingbirdKids.com. And we have decided to use Magento just because it's a product-centric content management system for e-commerce websites. And for us, it allows us to catalog all of our inventory SKUs and sell online. So this way, by linking up with Soldsie, we're always up to date on our inventory, whether something is selling on Facebook, on Instagram, or now on our website. We'll always know what we have in stock. So we're very excited about this new venture, and hopefully it's going to become a successful third revenue stream for us. So, Alan?
Hey, thanks so much, Parmalee and Anna. So I've got a few questions from the audience. The first one is, and I sort of anticipated we would get this, but Sherry is asking, what did you do to grow your following? You made it sound so easy.
Well, it really, in the beginning, it was pretty easy. We just had to carve out some time for it. We, like I said, followed our friends, followed their friends, and not just followed. We would comment on things that we liked, photos that we liked of anything. Just try and find something. I've spoken about feeling a connection with your audience. So find an image from someone that you feel a connection to, and talk about it. Let them know who you are, and that's really helped us. And the contest helped us too. In the beginning, and even now, we've spent a tremendous amount of time doing this. So while it has been easy, it has been time consuming too.
Great. So this sort of answers the first portion of Kelly's next question, and that's sort of what do you attribute your initial rapid increase of followers to? The contest, the sharing and stuff. But the second portion is, are you consistently promoting, or is it genuine engagement from your followers?
I think, to answer the first part of the question, that we were able to grow quickly, just based on following people that we knew having them follow us back, and then being able to reach new people that we didn't know through our friends. And you know it's hard to say what the percentage of people following us back was, but it seemed like it was pretty high, which may have just been fortunate for us. Um, and then the contests as well. We offering so many contests and a way for people to get a freebie that has helped tremendously. Um, and then as far as promoting us, yeah, we do still try and promote. We're still following new people all the time, and I don't. It's not something that I focus on as much now that we've got a pretty solid base. But there's always room to gain more followers, and we want to reach our next goal of 15,000, 20,000, and
But and I will say, I mean, it's genuine engagement. I mean, we're not following, we don't comment on photos that really that we don't that I mean, when we comment on something, it's genuinely because we like it. And
yeah, you're right,
I think
absolutely.
that's why people respond to us because they can tell that it's not just we're just not commenting just to comment. I mean, it really is something genuine, and I think people see that.
That's
Yeah,
great
it is.
advice. Julie's got a question. What's your favorite type of contest to host?
Well, the funny thing is, this is before I answer the question, when we first started, we did we tried to do a whole bunch of contests. And I remember one of our first ideas was, okay, let's say that we're going to, give a free outfit to the first, we'll choose the person after we've hit, well, I don't know, whatever it was, like 300 shares or 300 tag of friends. And we thought that this would last for like a couple days. And within like 30 minutes, Anna's like, up, we just hit 300. We just hit 300 tags. So we were like kind of bummed that it went. So I mean, it was great that it went quickly, but we expected it to take a lot longer and really get out there. So I mean, it was good and bad. But I think our favorite contest. I mean, I would say Anna, tell me if you agree. But I mean, I just like when we post outfits and people comment and I mean, that's kind of the one we do a lot, but I like that because a lot of times not only do people tag a friend, but they comment something, about the clothing. And it's just kind of fun to see what people read, especially when they say, oh, I have triplets, please choose me. And I don't know, I always like hearing little comments from our customers.
Great. How do you pick a winner? Wendy's asking.
How do we pick a? It's usually just random. We'll kind of scroll through and just point your finger to the screen, and whoever you land on is it, and it's always someone different.
Great. Gloria's asking, so this is another contest or giveaway question. How often do you run your comment to win or tag a friend giveaway? Is it weekly?
We do it at least once, if not twice a week.
Great. Here's a question from Jeff. Jeff is asking, how many followers did you have before you started selling with Soldsie
On Instagram,
on Instagram?
0. We created our
Well, hold
Instagram
on.
account.
Well, Anna, we started 0, but we said we would offer our first sale once we hit 500 followers. And so within less than a week, we hit 500, and that's when we offered our first sale. But we
That's
started off
true.
with 0 followers, but we had our first sale at 500.
That's true.
So I've got a couple of questions from Sarah. One is, do you do international sales? And do you use comments sold in email for the purchase instructions?
So yes, we do sell internationally. We sell to Australia, the UK, and Canada, and Panama. Um, and it's different. If we do Instagram, we do the email address, but if we do Facebook, we do hashtag SoldsyCart, and they just click a link.
Great. So Melissa's got another question. We know you work with both Facebook and Instagram, but do you post the same things on both platforms at the same time?
We don't. We try not to, just because it affects our inventory and can be confusing if we post it on both portals, and inventory's going quickly on Instagram, then it's not available on Facebook. So Parmalee and I coordinate, and there have been times where we might show the same outfit in the morning on Instagram and then that night on Facebook. But for the most part, we try to keep them separate.
Great. Another question from, oh, sorry, go ahead, Parmalee.
No, just within a few days.
Great. So, I mean, another question off of that, Kate is asking, do you find a lot of crossover on Facebook and Instagram?
We really don't have a whole lot of crossover, maybe 5%, if not less. And we've not really pushed Instagram on Facebook and Facebook on Instagram because the audiences are separate and we like to keep it that way.
Great. So I've got another question from Brooke. Brooke is asking, do you know what percentage of your business is local versus non-local? So outside of your, you know, South Carolina and Atlanta.
So I do look at this a lot, and I can't tell you off the top of our head, but yes, the majority of our business is actually in the state of Georgia, um, and South Carolina is in like the top five, maybe even the top three. But in the all of the South, I mean, I think if you maybe 75% of our business is from a southern state, and if you include Texas in that, you're probably about 95%.
Great. So I've got another question. This is specific to Instagram. Jennifer is asking, how long do you leave your sale post up for? Do you leave them up forever or do you remove them from Instagram?
That is a great question and something that we have played around with. We initially and sometimes still will leave a post up for 5, 6, 7 days and then take it down. But recently we've been taking them down after 2 to 3 days just because our biggest amount of sales is usually within the first couple hours, first 24 hours that we post an item. So for the reason of keeping it fresh, we like to take it down fairly soon after we post it, 2 to 3 days, so that we can repost it again in a couple of weeks and it seemed fresh. And people may have seen it initially and didn't buy it, and then realize, okay, there is that sense of urgency. If I need to go ahead and get it. They're going to take it down.
Great. Smita's got a question about what kind of camera do you guys use? And then also what kind of lighting props and where did you purchase these lighting props?
So the camera we use is a Canon 850D, I think it's called. And that's just, I mean, it's a good camera. It's nothing like super expensive. We did spend a couple $100s on the lens, and we used both a Canon and a Sigma lens. That was definitely the where we invested. In terms of lighting, we use actual photography lighting, and we just bought it off of Amazon for like, I don't know, $60. It was not expensive, but it came with the whole photography set, and it has done wonders on our pictures. I look back at photos that we took that first month, and I can't even believe anyone bought anything because they were not good. They're so much better now. The photography lights really made a huge difference.
Great. Karen wanted to ask, how much time do you invest in taking photos?
A ton. A lot. um, it is, and it's just, if it were just taking the photo, that would be very easy. But it's a lot more than that. I mean, when the clothes come in, they get steamed, and that takes a while. Then they have to be totally, dry, and then they get photographed, which takes 2 seconds, but it's a lot more than that because then it has to get, uploaded into the computer and photoshopped and sized, and it's a lot. The photography is a lot of work, and that's doesn't even include the photo shoots with our actual children. That's just for the individual outfit.
Great. So Erica's got a follow-up question to that. So if they can't, one, I mean, Erica's saying like, I don't have the money to be able to invest into, a nice camera and Photoshop and all of that kind of stuff. Do you have any other recommended apps?
So, I mean, I don't think, we personally like are selling baby clothing. And so for us, the detail was important. A lot of other people out there that, jewelry and accessories, you might not necessarily need the super fine details because, for us, people like to see, is that micro check or is that, a larger check? We really needed like the zoom function. So these days you can find inexpensive cameras that would probably, be what you're looking for. I mean, shoot, iPhones these days are actually like a pretty good solution. And there's like free software that you can really tweak and play around with it and do things at very little or no, for a very minimal cost. And to be honest, for us, it was, it was a small investment, but we made it up within a month. I mean, probably even faster with how much more we sold once we really had started taking better photos.
And I think that if you don't want to invest in lighting and a camera right now, if you could pick a time of day when the sun is good and consistent in an area where you can shoot your items and get good sunlight, that would be important for us. Having to each having a small child and not knowing when our free time is, and it was very rainy last spring when we started, so the lights really helped us be able to take photos whenever it suited us.
Great. So I've got a question from India. How many sales a week do you have on Instagram, and how many items do you post for each sale?
So on Instagram, we have two sales daily, one at 12:30 p.m. and one at 8:30 p.m. And we post anywhere from one up to five items during a sale.
But I would note that if we post 5 items for one of the sales that day, we'd probably post a smaller sale that on the other time.
Great. Sarah says she's from Georgia and says, yes, you were very popular here. How many hashtags do you like to add to your photos?
We keep our hashtags fairly small, maybe 3 to 5 on average, just because we like the hashtags. They're fun, but we don't want to inundate people with too many hashtags and distract from the content of the actual item that we have for sale.
Great. So I've got another question from Elizabeth. She was wondering, did your sales start off consistent? Did you hit the ground running, or was it more of a process building up? And then a follow-up question to that was, at what point were you happy? Like, how many items a week were you selling or per sale where, both Parmalee, you and Anna were happy with that?
Well, I mean, going into this, we had a lot of P&Ls, and we did a ton of research on how many items we were going to have to sell for on a monthly basis to make the numbers work for us to break even. And then we started off pretty strong. I mean, we pretty much doubled our sales every month until we got to some some good numbers. But I mean, then again, our very first month, I think we sold like $2,000. So I mean, we were happy. We were brand new. Looking back on that, I mean, of course, now we wouldn't be happy with $2,000. But we were new. That was great. So we really we really grew. I mean, we started almost doubling every single month, and once probably after about 3 months, we really we were paid back our initial investment and actually really started making money. So we've been very happy with things.
Great. Kim's got a question for you. So if you had to do it all over again with Instagram, what would you change?
Well, we probably would have gotten on Instagram immediately. Facebook is probably a little more work in the sense of when we do a Facebook sale, there's also a newsletter that we have to go out. So it's a little more work in this prep, I would say. Instagram was pretty easy since we were already doing Facebook. We already had all the photos, so it really wasn't that much harder just to get on Instagram. I mean, there's really not much I would change. Anna, you might think of something, but nothing I would say except we should have gotten on there 2 months earlier.
Yeah, that's really it. I can't think of anything that I would have done differently. Maybe in the beginning we had one sale a day, but I don't think that it would have been feasible to have changed that because while we built up our supply of inventory, it wouldn't have been practical to do two sales a day. So we did that when we were able to, and yeah, I agree with Parmalee.
Great. I've got a few more questions here. So Kimberly's asking, do you use email marketing as a way to alert customers about sales and contests on Instagram or on Facebook?
Just on Facebook. We don't do it on Instagram, and that's mainly because every single thing we post on Instagram is shown to every single one of our every single person that follows us. So we haven't really felt the need to. On Facebook, because of the algorithm, we 100% before every single thing we do, every single sale, we do have a email marker. We do send out email marketing.
Great. Clayton's asking, do you incentivize your customers to actually complete payment?
Not in the sense of offering discounts. They have 48 hours to pay, and Soldsie automatically sends out the invoice, and then after 24 hours they get a reminder notice. And then if they still haven't paid, a lot of times I'll, Ann and I we'll follow up with an email and actually send them the link, because we find that a lot of times our customers, they didn't get the invoice, that went to spam. So if we send them a personal, an email from our Smockingbird Kids account, they will get that, and then they can just click the link and it will go into their account to see their invoices where they can pay.
Great. So I've got
And
a. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to add, whenever when we do have sales, which is roughly once a month, we try and incentivize people to pay by a certain time then to get the discount. So we'll say, invoices must be paid by the end of the day or
Yeah, by
midnight
midnight tonight.
Eastern.
Great. I've got a question from Gavin. What is your posting strategy, and do you plan your post for the week on a specific day, or do you just post as you go?
We, I think, both live by our calendars just to keep things organized and have a good spread of when we post certain items and not post items that are too similar close together. So we're pretty strategic about what we post when. I think that right now, our for me on Instagram, the lead is about knowing what I'm going to post up until probably a month out, and over time, I hope that we're able, as we continue to build our inventory and become more organized, know several months out, a quarter out. But right now, knowing about 3 to 4 weeks out is pretty good for us, because we've in the past it was a day-to-day, week-by-week situation as we got started.
Anna has an incredible Excel calendar.
That's awesome. So one last question, and I'm pretty sure you guys have already answered this, but Sherry wants to know, what would you say, Facebook or Instagram is your main seller between the two?
Instagram.
Instagram is definitely our main seller. I think because we have more followers and because all of our followers see our photos, I think people are more engaged on Instagram. We've got 2 sales a day, so we have 14 sales a week. On Facebook, we only have 2 sales a week, and not everyone sees the posting. And they, like Parmalee said, they do get an email, but if it's not a convenient time or they're not checking
Or the
Facebook,
email goes to spam.
or if the email goes to spam, people don't always have the ability to see the sale. So definitely Instagram.
Great. I know we've got a bunch of other questions out there, but we've run out of time. So thank you again, Parmalee and Anna, for sharing your story today. I want to let everyone in the audience know that a recording of this webinar will be sent in a follow-up email, along with a special link to learn more about Soldsie for those of you who are not part of the Soldsie community yet. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellen.